right, so we got the fender off. Me and Harper are doing it here at the house. A couple pointers. If you're gonna try to do this yourself, it is possible without taking the front bumper off. The headlights what makes it the hardest, but you've got to disconnect your hood here, and if you don't have no help, you need to make sure you put a block down like that to keep it off the windshield, because you don't want that corner right there to go back and hit that glass, or it will bust it. You're gonna have to use some kind of prop to hold it up like that, and then also take your fuse block and put it on a ratchet strap and crank it up so it can, you know, slip out. On these fenders, on these trucks, it's not like a car where you just have the outer. Your inner structure is also part of the fender. It's all one piece, so you literally have the whole side of the truck off. Now's a perfect time if you have anything that you need to do up inside here on the side of the motor. It's really easy to get to, obviously, right now. So I wish I had time to purple power all this stuff, you know, and clean it up and pressure wash it, but I don't have the pressure washer here, so we're just gonna keep rocking and rolling. We got the brand new fender that we painted at the shop, and it's back here in the cardboard, so we're gonna get this thing opened up. The lower valence also come in, but I'm gonna get this opened back up and get this installed. I got to change over my hood, or my hinges for the hood, but besides that, I jammed it all out, got everything done, and then decided, you know, try to work on it a little bit at the house so that it's not so much time at the shop, y'all, because I miss a lot of time at the house with these kids, you know, by being at the shop so much. Harper's out here helping. Harper, are you helping, or are you just trying to lose stuff? Just losing stuff? I don't know what she's doing. So we're gonna get this on. So there we go, we got the fender put on. Harper had to bail out and go get a bath, but the match is really good, so I'm happy with it. I have not bolted the bottom corner down because I plan to take the door off tomorrow, and I need to adjust some in and out adjustments on it, and I think I want to shim the door out a little, so I left that loose down there. That way I can mess with it more, but at least that's one panel down. What I plan to do with this truck is to work one panel at a time so I'm not overwhelmed. So the next we're going to do is paint the whole entire door, and then that way by this weekend hopefully we'll have new wheels, new tires, and a whole red side, and then maybe primer and some body work down there, and then we'll start working our way back as we go, you know, finishes up piece by piece. So there's the cab corner that's damaged. I'm going to cut all that out, cut the cab out, cut the cab corner out, cut the rocker out, cut the upper bed pieces out. But yeah, not bad for the afternoon. I like being able to do this at the house because then it don't eat up so much of my time, but I really need to get on this thing. But dude, I'm just tired of working, y'all. So we'll see what happens tonight with this. All right, so here's what we're working on this morning. We are going to try to get these two doors done before this weekend. Hopefully the wheels and adapters will come in by Friday, and hopefully I can have them on by Saturday morning. So fender's already done. You see we got the fender on. Me and Mike got the fender bolted on at the bottom yesterday from where it's messed up. So I just yanked the back door off, about to yank the front door off. Gonna prep it out. It's just gonna be easier to yank these things off, prep them, carry them to paint, get them through paint, and then throw them back on, versus trying to, you know, put the whole truck through paint. That way we don't have to bag the whole truck, and all we have to do is just do the doors. So we're gonna get all of our primer blocked out. That from where we body worked it yesterday, you know, it was hit down low, so it was all kinds of tore up. We got all that work back out, studded it out first, used a stud gun to pull it out first, and then you know, work the rest with body filler. So we're gonna get all this cleaned up and get anything else off like this. Leaving the window in, I'm literally trying to do this really fast and not take forever. Basically the goal is to get it through paint before lunch, and then reassemble this afternoon and drive it back home. So it's a lot of back and forth, but we're gonna get at it. We're just gonna tape the window up. I did take my gasket and drop my glass. You can see my glass is actually down, and then drop my gasket down some. These gaskets for these doors or window sills are hard. They're not flexible like this or the older trucks where you can just rip them out easier. They take a little bit more work to get out. So I just dropped it down to give me just a little bit more room to scuff so that the paint has better adhesion. So I'm gonna get this all prepped out for paint and then get. All right, so we got another one off. I should have time-lapsed this to show you how fast I am with this stuff. Got this one all prepped out. She's drying. Primer's all blocked out. And as you can see, this bad boy is stripped back down. Whenever we go to do the rocker, you can see the rocker better right now. Okay, and it's got a little bit of rust in it, so that's the reason why we're actually just putting a slip-on cover over it. But when we go to do the rockers, I'll be taking these doors back off again. But I won't be having to take door handles out, and I won't be having to strip them down like this, because like this one's completely gutted. Again, no glass or anything in it. I'll just literally have to undo the hinges, unplug them, and take them off. That way it makes it easier to do the rockers. And I'll probably do that at the house on the one weekend. I'll do the rocker and the cab corner all at the same time. But I'm gonna get this one prepped out real fast, and get the bottom side prepped out and get this thing over to paint. All right, so hanging the doors back on her. Got the back one all hung already and back on it. Like I said, we did paint the door handle separate so that your little black piece up in there is not bombed. So they turned out pretty good. You know, the pinstripe's all gone. Got to finish moving the pinstripe off this, but of course this whole bedside gets a ton of work done to it. So the front door, all we did was just the shells. All I did was just the jams. I don't worry about painting this. I did not take the motor out of it, didn't take the regulator out of it, didn't take the speaker out of it. Once your door panel goes on it, it'll get covered up. That's pretty standard in the paint industry. I mean, a lot of shops will strip the regulator and speakers and everything out of it, but being it's my shop, my truck, I do it my way, right, y'all? So I just leave all that in, but it's pretty standard just to do around the edge and not do behind the door panel. So if you ever take your door panels off, it's different colors because the door was swapped out for sure. It's a dead giveaway. But I did on this one go ahead and remove all of the seals out of it, all the gaskets, you know, and everything. That way there's no blue behind it, so everything's 100% red. So put the tape on the edge of the fender just to protect it while we were putting it on. So that way you just make sure that it doesn't, hopefully you cut down on the chances of it scratching, obviously. So now all I gotta do is just check to make sure when I close it that it doesn't hit the fender. I did shim out the bottom hinge a little, like I said I wanted to do on this. So now the bolts go through the hinge to the fender like they're supposed to. Moving right along. So I'm gonna get this door put back together and then get up with y'all. So there she is outside all put together. We're finally making some grounds. Y'all starting to look like another truck. Hopefully the wheel spacers and the lug nuts, or the wheel adapters and lug nuts, will be in here tomorrow. And then, you know, we got to move on to the cab corner, bed, and all that. I'll just be happy to get a matching set of wheels on it. It'll make it look 100 times better. And I did go ahead and smoke the taillights the other afternoon. I had some clear left over on a job, and went ahead and chunked some black in them and smoked them just to get that done. But it's nice to have red doors back on it again and not be all mismatched. So I kind of like it without the emblems, honestly, without the badges. Might leave the badges off and not put the badges back on this side and take the badges off the other side. I don't know. I do like the badges too, though. See, I do like them badges. Got to get the pinstripe off this side so it matches the other side. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. So another thing I went ahead and done, I want to talk to y'all about real fast on the way home, is while I was in the garage today, I did the oil change on the truck, and all these lights on the dash are in the process of getting taken care of. I'm waiting for parts and stuff. But I went ahead and changed the bolts out on the torsion keys. So your torsion keys, all your torsion keys is basically, I can't form it in my hands, but they look like that right here in the palm of your hands where your torsion bar would be. Over here, there's a bolt that goes underneath here, and what it does is it turns, okay? When the torsion key is turned up, when the bolt's tightened up, the torsion key is turned up, which spins the bar, which lowers down the control arm, which lifts the front, okay? That's how a torsion system works with a torsion key, is as the key is turned up, the bar is twisted, and the control arm is turned down, that lifts the truck. A lot of people confuse this stuff and overthink this stuff when it's actually not that complicated. So I was able to see up in there with a flashlight that it looked like I had some clearance above the top of the key, between the top of the key and the cross member, but the bolt was completely ran all the way up. Now you can order a set of other keys, and the only difference with another set of torsion keys is they're just indexed different. So let's say that, you know, your key starts here and your bolt turns it up to here. The new torsion keys, they'll start here, you know, when you put them on, and then when it turns them, it lifts it up more because it's indexed down just a little bit more. So the torsion key itself doesn't matter. All that does is twist the torsion bar so that it raises the front end up. So all I did was go to the hardware store. This is the, I'm gonna try to drive and not hit somebody. This is the bolt that come out of it, okay? So this is the bolt and it's got a round end on it. It's nothing, it's not rocket science or anything. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Okay, so that's what it looks like, the bolt that comes out of it. That's your torsion bolt. So all I did is, I'm gonna put on the picture, a picture on the screen right now, is I went to the hardware store and got some bolts that are a little bit longer than this, being I was able to see that I still had room above the key and the key could be turned up some more, and it would not put the bolt at a bad angle. I didn't do no videotaping while I was down there. I should have. I didn't even think about it, so it's a fail on my part. And I just put longer bolts in it. The longer bolts were able to put my control arms on your bump stops. So your upper control arms have bump stops, so that when you lift the vehicle up on a jack, you know, the arm only goes down so far and then it touches the bump stop and hangs. You can't lift the vehicle past what that upper control arm touches that bump stop, and you can't have your upper control arm sitting on top of your bump stop, because then you'll lose your ride quality. So what I do is I used a driver's license and another like credit card basically, and we ran the bolts up, you know, to where everything was tight and the upper control arms were actually touching the sorry, I'm backing into the house. The upper control arms were actually touching the bump stops, because that would obviously be max lift, but it would ride like crap. And then what we do is I have Eddie check it with a credit card and a driver's license, the thickness of that, and I keep bumping the bolt down, loosening it, lowering the front until Eddie can slide his credit card and driver's license between the upper control arm and the bump stop. So all you're getting is the thickness, you know, the only movement you have is the thickness of that, and that's just enough that when you're riding down the road, you'll still have good quality. So I just wanted to go over that real fast with y'all on my way home, and you know, show y'all that, and I'll show you what I'm talking about if I can see it on your upper control arm. Okay, right here you have this bump stop. Okay, so you can see how actually Eddie has quite a bit of distance between here. He was supposed to only have a credit card, but it also settles when you drive it, so we could technically crank it back up if we needed to a little bit more. Let me check the other side, because I'm gonna try to drop it off in the morning to get an alignment done on it. So let's look. So yeah, on that side we even have quite a bit of room. But that's it. All you're doing is just changing out them bolts, and your torsion keys are right inside here. So if you look, you can see where I put a new bolt in there to turn the key up a little higher, and all it does is turn the bar that goes to the front, which goes right here. This bar turns, and when this bar turns, that takes your front end and it breaks the arms down like that, which lifts the truck. So that's something you could do for cheap at the hardware store for next to nothing. But I just wanted to go over that with y'all. Right, so here's what we're going to work on tonight. We're at the shop. We're going to get this thing on some wheels finally. So we got our spacers in, our adapters, the Duramax switched lug patterns. So your older Duramaxes such as this have a slightly different lug pattern than the newer ones. So we are going to install these spacers. This is going to convert the old pattern to the new pattern to allow us to run a newer Denali HD wheel and tire. A lot of people are leery about this stuff. There's absolutely nothing to be leery about. You hear a lot of stuff. A lot of the information you hear from anybody telling you horror stories is normally going to be from somebody that has no clue what they're talking about. 9 out of 10 times, that's what I have seen in this business. I've been into vehicles and modifying them for, let's see here, since about between 2006 2008. I started modifying vehicles. I been heavy into it and educated in it since 2010. So, and I have done tons of adapters, spacers, and everything. Never had one fail. I've had them spacers and adapters on all the way up to 30-inch wheels. So 30-inch rims. So I've had tires adapted over all the way up to, let's see here, the F450, want to count that, that was almost a 40-inch. That was like a 39.5. Anyways, you're perfectly fine. Don't worry. If you want to make sure you get a good one, you need to get the ones that are made out of T6061 aluminum. They're the stronger ones. I honestly did not even check. I literally went on eBay and changed my search results to cheapest first, and this is the cheapest set of 4 that I could find. A lot of people would be terrified of that. I absolutely do not care. I've been doing this enough that I know that if they're selling them on eBay, they're perfectly fine. There's nothing to worry about. But you enter into your project with your own caution. We're going to get these ripped off, get these fitted on, see if we got clearance issues or anything, and get this truck rolling, because we are heading to Dig or Die in Rockingham in the morning to meet up with Turbo John. So we have got to get this truck ready, get this off of its spare, and get out of here. Okay, on these, I want to go ahead and show you on this side, on the rear. Y'all hear that lift pump? When you cut the key off, the lift pump runs for, I don't know, maybe a minute, and then it cuts off. Is that normal? If anyone has any experience with that, it's like on a delay. I have no clue why. That's how it was when I got it. So you've got to cut the little ends off of the studs, okay? There's no threads on that. That's just the pattern, okay? So you want to cut it right past where the threads, you know, where they start. So you can see I went and done it that way. They don't stick out past the adapter. If you leave these little end pieces on, okay, and you don't cut these little tits off of your factory wheel studs, then the wheel will not sit up flush against the adapter, and then that's not safe at all. So you got to have everything sitting flush, sandwiched up together, or you know, it's going to cause problems. So make sure before you put your spacer on that you cut the little thing off. These are 1.5 inch spacers on newer HD wheels, so I don't know about other wheels. There is a notch out in the back of the wheel. I'll show you. Let's see here. Let me get turned around. Okay, there's a little cutout between the things, but on the ones that I tested, actually you can't see it on this one. I was gonna say they hit. I think that's factory, that indentation right there. But yeah, they won't sit up. They won't sit up tight. So you have got to cut some off because there's not enough of little notch out to clear that. All right, so there we go. We got it up on the wheels, tires, got them aired up. From where I did the exhaust tip in the back, I had a short little, 90. It created a bad drone in the cab, so I extended it at night. I'm gonna see how this does on the way tomorrow. I just did a pretty quick little extension, nothing crazy. So I think it looks pretty decent. I basically flush cut it with the side and then put a little curve into it just to make it look unique, just to give it a little. And it's tucked up there. Comes between the hanger and the leaf spring. Like I said, I originally wanted to bring it out and back over the rear axle, but that piece is $300 for that piece, so it ain't happening. So we're gonna roll with that for right now and see what that does, see how that sounds, and if it works, then that's gonna be it for that, because I'm not too fond of spending $300 just to get the exhaust out over the rear axle. So this side looks good. There's nothing to hide besides the bed side's all messed up, and we still got to do the cab corners, but she's definitely getting there. I think it looks good, so I'm happy. Dude, look how dirty I am. That's gonna be a wrap for tonight, though. We're gonna head to Rockingham in the morning to go to Dig or Die to run John's car. I got his taillights loaded up that I sprayed for him, and you'll be able to check that video out, how to spray a set of taillights at your house, if you want to know, because these things look sweet. But that's gonna be a wrap. I think it turned out good. I think this truck's really coming together fast, good. And dude, I have to go home and shower. I'm tired as crap. I'm dirty. I'm wore out. It's like 9 o'clock, after 9 o'clock. We ain't working on the race car tonight because I'm exhausted. I still got to go home, get the trailer out, load the golf cart up, unless I want to do it in the morning. Dude, I am beat, y'all. So we're going to wrap this up. I'll catch you on the next one. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. I'll see y'all later.